friends to my kitchen. Benvingi a minha cozinha. What am I doing today? It's Sunday morning and I need to make some breakfast for me. And I figure, why not use my discard and make sourdough lemon blueberry scones. I have all this discard that I need to use, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use sourdough lemon blueberry scones. So in here I have 2 cups of flour, and I'm gonna put it into this bowl. I have half a cup of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of baking powder, and then 3 tablespoons of lemon zest. We need this to be lemony. I love scones. I love making scones, and I make it quite often for some of my customers. So now that I have to use my discard, it's even better. So anyway, I mixed all my flour. I blended good with all the other ingredients. I need to take some butter out of my refrigerator. For this recipe, we need 1/4 cup of butter. And you need very cold butter. It's in the refrigerator, so I take it when I need it. And then I'm gonna grate it. Use your grater to the thicker side, and you grate your butter. And this will make a better distribution of the butter throughout the dough. I make at least sometimes 24, 30 scones for one customer. So I'm always making scones. And I love this blueberry lemony. I love this. And I happen to have all the ingredients at home. And I want to use some of my discarder starter. So this is one way for me to do it. So now I'm going to put flour, some of that flour, and try to separate that butter throughout all the flour. And not using very much my hands because I don't want that butter to melt. So you just want that butter to kind of be mixed and coated with all that flour. So anyway, okay, that's done. In here I have 1/2 cup of yogurt. If you don't have yogurt, use your milk. The recipe actually asks for milk, but I'm gonna use yogurt. And for this recipe, I need 3/4 cup of the discard starter. So this is 1/4, and that's 1/2 cup, more or less, and then 3/4 cup. And I've been using this discard because it's keeps growing. It keeps, and before you know it, I have the same amount of discard as I do of starter. So I'm done with this, and I'm gonna mix this together until they're both well incorporated. I'm using yogurt because I like that tang, but actually the recipe asks for milk. So now this is all incorporated, and I'm going to pour this into my flour. And we're going to mix all this. I still haven't taken my, I'm using frozen blueberries. So they're still in the freezer. I don't want them to start thawing out. So anyway, so we're gonna blend all this. It's not gonna be like a cake, it's gonna be a crumble mixture. So just mix it well until you don't see no more flour and you don't have no clumps of that yogurt and starter. I'm also gonna add some slivered almonds. So I had slivered almonds in my pantry, so I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna get my blueberries out of the freezer. The almonds are option if you want to add it or not. So I'm gonna grab about a cup of blueberries, frozen blueberries. If you don't have frozen, you can use fresh. Frozen, it's what I have. That's what I'm gonna do. And I just remembered, I forgot to use my egg. So I'm gonna mix this egg in here and I'm gonna beat it and try to incorporate that. Good thing I looked and I saw that I hadn't mixed my egg. You mix your egg with your yogurt and your starter or your milk, whatever it is you're using. So I'm just gonna mix all this, and because those blueberries are kind of frozen, the dough is gonna get a little bit softer, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. And I'm trying to grab all the flour, whatever flour is at the bottom, so everything is formed into a ball. I have my oven preheated at 350. Okay, so now I'm gonna shape my scones. So I have this big ball, and I'm using parchment paper for the bottom. If you don't have parchment paper, you can use flour. But I don't want to add no more flour to these scones. So I'm going to flatten as much as I can, whatever thickness. I want about a 1/2 inch. And then you keep pushing those blueberries as if they fall out. Push them in. And this is all cold. So, and that's what you want, because you don't want that butter to melt. You want that butter to go still frozen to the oven, so it creates these pockets in between the dough, and that's what makes a flaky scone. Some people think scones are supposed to be like thick, hard. No, they don't. And I'm gonna, this ball gives me 8 large scones. If you want to make smaller, just cut them smaller or cut them into a different shapes. You can make into a rectangle and make it smaller. So if you're gonna have, you know, these more as for brunch and stuff, you don't want the big scone, just make them smaller. Make whatever size you like. You can even shape them with the ice cream scooper. I've done that too. Especially if it's like for a dinner, for a party where people want for Mother's Day and stuff, you don't want a big scone. These are so big that barely can fit in my sheet. But, so anyway, I'll move them closer. Okay. And we're gonna bake them again for 350 for about 18 minutes, or until you start seeing they're golden on top. And if you're not gonna bake these right away, you need to keep them in the refrigerator so the butter doesn't melt. Also, you can get it to this point, you can freeze all this, put it in your freezer, and it freeze them individual. You can put them in Ziploc bags, and then when you want it, just take what you want, bake it, so you always have scones baked when you want them. Okay friends, when my scones are baking, I'm gonna make a sugar syrup to put over the scones when they come out. And all I'm doing is zesting 1 lemon, and then I want the juice of this lemon. I'm gonna juice this lemon. And depending on how the lemon is, sometimes they're not very juicy. Now this one will be, half will be enough. And I see some seeds. I don't want seeds. So, and I have powdered sugar here. All we're making is a glaze to put over. And maybe about cup or a cup and a half of powdered sugar, depending how much lemon you have. I usually go by eye. And I'm just gonna mix the powdered sugar with a lemon zest and the lemon juice until I get to a glaze consistency. And if it's too thick, add more lemon juice. If it's too thin, add more powdered sugar. This is what I want. See, kind of drops. And I'm gonna leave this aside, and when my scones are done, I'll show you. Friends, my scones, blueberry, lemon scones are done. Just took them out of the oven. And now I'm gonna pour that glaze. I'm just gonna drizzle that glaze all over these scones. And like I said, you can make this ahead of time. Make your bagels, make your scones, freeze them. And then when you have somebody over, just take them out, put them straight out of the freezer into an oven, and you have a beautiful breakfast for whoever you want. And just do this when they're done. This is what's gonna be for my breakfast. I've been waiting for this. So drizzle all that lemon, that tangy from the scone, the lemon into these scones. Delicious. And this is blueberry, lemon, almond scones, because I add those extra almonds. I'm gonna let this sit here for a little bit so that those glaze kind of stick to it. If I put it over there, it's gonna drip. At least here it sticks to it, and then I'll show you at the end. And here it is, my blueberry, lemon, almond scones. Just took them out of the oven, and this is what's gonna be for my breakfast. Look how soft and gooey that is inside. I definitely taste the difference with the sourdough starter. Delicious. Got my coffee. This is my breakfast. It's been a busy day today. This busy morning. You give it a try to this recipe, especially if you make sourdough starter, that discard that you take out, put it in a jar. put it in the refrigerator. So when you need to bake something, add that. And it will make a big difference on your baking. Everything will taste so much better. So that's what I did. I saved my discard and now I'm using in my baking. And it makes a big difference. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Don't forget to click the bell so you'll be notified when I put videos out. Give me some thumbs up. Share my videos on your social media and with your friends. Until next time, let's get cooking. Have a good day.